I would always say just keep networking, meet people, pester people. It doesn't matter. I think everyone's at a point in their life where they want to help people. How can we help each other? Because we want to see each other succeed.
And welcome back to Got a Map, where we talk all things career. We talk about different people's life journeys and hear about these possibilities that are out here in the world. So I'm Mamadou Njai, founder of Dim Events, and today as my co-host, we have Rayann Yao, and she is an intern at Dim Events. Rayann, say what's up to the people.
Hey y'all, my name is Rayann. I'm an intern here at Dim Events in the brand management department, and I'm an incoming freshman at UC Berkeley pursuing business administration. So yeah, I'll be starting in a couple weeks. I'm excited.
Look at that. Starting during COVID, it's a very interesting time, and we were just talking a little bit about that. But getting you through this time, what have you been listening to musically?
So I'd say during quarantine, definitely a lot of R&B actually. I've been doing Black Bear, Lauv, he came out with a recent album back in March, so that's what I've been listening to. And I was actually supposed to see him in concert. Like one of his tour stops was actually on Berkeley, like he was supposed to perform at one of the Greek theaters at Berkeley, so my roommates and I were gonna go, but it got canceled, so it's kind of disappointing.
We got to do like a redo at 2020.
For sure.
And today we have a friend of mine from college, Jasmine Smith, the Great. I'm not going to say any of her aliases because I don't know if that's how she goes by those anymore. But Jasmine, say what up to the people. How are you doing?
Hey guys, what's up? I mean, he's probably talking about Jazzy Totem, which people still call me on the streets. So, I'm still here, still repping it. No shame in my game. What's up, Mo? How's it going?
Good. And tell us a little bit about what do you do?
So, I currently work for Under Armour. I am part of our field experience team, aka our grassroots marketing team. I dip my hands in a lot of pots, which you guys will hear about very, very soon.
Perfect. And what are you listening to get through COVID? I've seen you've been biking. Her and her friends, they got their workout team. I'm like, man, they're inspiring me. I need to get outside, but I'm scared. I'm scared of this COVID. I can't mess with it.
So I've been on a point like I can't be scared anymore. I'm kind of like out there, but socially distancing myself. I'm being safe. I'm wearing my mask. Sorry, we have to improvise. What I'm currently listening to is Pop Smoke. So that is what has been getting me through my workouts and my days. I just like to be turned up and stuff like that.
Pop Smoke, classic album. I do like a lot of songs on there. It's a lot, but the energy is definitely there.
Yes, it keeps me lit. A little bit of City Girls, Hot Girl Summer, keep me hyped right now, which I need during these times.
Yeah, you got to get through it with something. So good music selections, good choices. So here, we like to get a little deep in our conversations early. So what would you say is your impact on the world?
Ooh, you mean me as a person or more so me through my career?
It can be a little bit of both, honestly.
I think definitely if we're relating it more towards job-wise, my impact in the world is more so brand awareness. Like I said, I do work for Under Armour, really, really huge brand here in the U.S. So within my role and with a lot of things that I do within my role is to bring brand awareness specifically here in Chicago, in the Chicago market. Whereas if it's doing activations, if it's partnering with different companies, different gyms, even something as little as community service, just letting people know, hey, we're out here and we are like here to make a change. And one of our missions and values and statements is to make athletes better. So what can we do to make you better? And there's like no specific, this is what an athlete is. In our mind, everyone's an athlete.
I feel like that's very interesting in that approach, right? Of everyone is an athlete. Cause like, I know when you work for these like sports oriented companies, there's a team mentality and it seems to be prevalent in the work that you're doing. And especially like during All-Star, seeing a lot of the events that you were doing, that's kind of like the last time I remember being outside. So that's all I got back then. It's outside with All-Star.
Oh man, All-Star.
But yeah, I saw like a lot of the cool events and the activations that you all were doing. And as far as the one that you sponsored, I think, where was that one? Downtown?
Yeah, so we actually partnered with Asia Evans. If you guys aren't familiar with her, she is an Olympian. She won the 2018 Olympian for the bobsled team. So what we did was partner with her during an event. There was an activation. We actually taught a lot of the people about breathing exercises, proper movements while working out, proper stretches, gave us some giveaways. Actually, we had a winner, Lauren. Shout out to you if you're going to watch this later. She actually picked out her free outfit yesterday. So, it was a good time. It was a blast.
Dope. And I'm going to hand it back over to Rayann so we can dig deeper into your past a little bit.
Yeah, so Jasmine,
Alrighty.
what was your path like kind of right after high school? Like right now, just finished high school. I'm a little lost in what I want to do. Were you kind of like trying to figure things out, or were you one of those people who kind of like knew exactly what they were going to do and had like a 5-year plan?
Oh, I am not to this day. And back then, I was not the person like, oh, I got this 5-year plan. I'm going to do this, this, and this. So my backstory, I went to Ignatius. When I went to college, all I knew was computer science. My dad was in computer science. My brother's in computer science. My mom's like, you're going to go there. You're going to do IT. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do IT. So I went to school, started with an IT major with a math minor. And I was like, cool, I'm going to make a lot of money. This is going to be great. And within probably the end of my freshman year, beginning of sophomore year, I was like, this is boring. This is terrible. My back hurts. My eyes hurt. I don't want to do this anymore. So kind of what happened was my sister-in-law, she was like, yo, I got a connection with Clear Channel Radio. Now it's called iHeartMedia. So if you're familiar with like Kiss FM, WGCI, doing promotion. And I was like, well, this doesn't really relate to my major, but I'm going to check it out. And once I checked it out, like I had a blast my whole sophomore year. And that was kind of like, I was like, wow, like I like interacting with people. I like doing giveaways. I like being out and about, doing the hard work. Like, what can I do where I can graduate within a decent amount of time and still major in what I want to major in? And that's when I went to my counselor, and she was like, the quickest, easiest way to get out is to do a marketing major. So that kind of is like what started and what got me into my path into what I'm doing right now.
For sure.
So would you say, like with that internship experience, how vital was that to your perspective, right? Were you open? Did you know anything like that was an option to make money or to make a living in your life before that? Or was this kind of just like, hey, this is completely eye-opening, I have no idea?
Yeah, so like, I think maybe, I don't know about you, Mo, but like just with me growing up and with like in the household I was, like a real job is like a corporate job, a 9 to 5. Like that's what a job is. That's what a career is. So growing up, like that was what I thought were jobs. That's what I need to strive for. And then once I got into this internship where it was like super informal, like I'm meeting artists, celebrities, everyone's so chill, like people wear jeans to work. And I was like, literally like, whoa, I want to be in this world. Like I'm not your typical 9-to-5 person. I'm not the person who can sit at a desk all day. I want to be out bouncing around, and I want to still talk to people. So I would definitely say, like, it was an eye-opening experience for me.
Yeah. And I can relate to that because, like, my mom, she comes, like, my dad managed hotels, so he was, like, bouncing around to different hotels, but my mom was super corporate. And, like, I definitely felt like, oh, I was going to college and I didn't know what direction to go into. I was actually going to college to be a doctor, and then now I'm in entertainment or this other stuff. So I think, you know, for me,
see, Rayann, it doesn't always go how you think it's gonna go.
It never does. It never does. And now I'm like, oh yeah, like this is cool. And that's really what the reason why we're doing like this podcast, right? Is so people know about different career opportunities that are out there, right? So someone for me, like I came from Minneapolis. Chicago's a way larger market, and like in Minneapolis, you don't have like a radio station who's doing it as big as like WGCI and all of them. It's smaller. A lot of those people probably work part-time or some work full-time, but it's not as lucrative as it is here where you can build your brand and do so much more. So definitely it's very eye-opening in that. But let's kind of move forward to what you're doing now, right? What does a typical day in the life look like for you, right? Let's talk pre-COVID and let's talk COVID now.
Yeah, so I'll actually give you guys a little background about me too, which like led me to my job because my role is actually very new. Just made a year in my role, but I've been with Under Armour for 5 years. So actually started in the store full-time sales associate, working, grinding, and like eventually I was like, I want more, I want to do more. It's just so much more that could happen, and I'm going to like speed through, but that's how I got promoted to a brand ambassador role, which was like in your wholesale, in Dick's, in Kohl's, just merchandising. And then unfortunately last year we had a huge layoff. They're like, look, we're getting rid of this program. Here's this new program. We went from 150 people to 35 people. And they're like, you're going to interview for it or you're not going to interview for it. So it's just crazy because it's always what I wanted to do. And that's how I got to where I am now. So there's no day-to-day, there's no living.
I want to interrupt you because I think that's such a good point you made, right? Like, and that slipped my mind. But you took a situation that someone would typically say, all right, this is bad. Like, I don't know if I want to go into this after they laid off all these people, right? And you had a brighter outlook on it, right? So, like, during that time, what was your mind frame like, right? Because I feel like this younger generation, and I hate when I say that, but this next generation, and even myself, right? You go through things and there's turmoil, but maybe you stop before you even try to get to that next thing, right? So what made you try to even interview for this spot rather than saying, you know what, forget Under Armour, they canceled this program I was trying to be in, and now I'm going to move on to another thing?
Yeah, so one, I really needed to keep a job, so that's why I interviewed for it. But I think, honestly, to be fully transparent, when I was in my old role, which was literally just merchandising clothes in different stores, it wasn't my passion. So in a sense, I feel like this layoff that happened was like an eye-opener for me. And like a lot of things, like I think it's really good, Rayann, too, just to have a mentor in your back pocket for someone to talk to when these things happen. And that person is my sister-in-law, Bonnie. And when I got laid off, I was just like, I don't know what to do, where to go. And she's into entertainment as well. And she's like, I mean, it's going to happen. Like, she's like, I've been laid off twice within my career. And unfortunately, these things happen. I really think, though, it was like an eye-opener for me to like really pursue what I wanted to do. And at first I was like, screw this, I'm not going to interview for it. And then once I read the job description, I'm like, man, actually, this is something I've been wanting to do within this company, as like in general. So let me go for it and let me see what happens. And it's one of those things, like, even with the interview process, the way I am now, the way I interview, like, this is me. You're going to love it and take it, or you're not going to mess with it, and I'm just not the right fit for you. So that's kind of like how it happened and why I decided to keep going with this company.
Oh, that's great. And I feel like, yeah, that's advice right there for all of y'all, just to listen to that. Like, always find the positivity in your situation and look for it as a way to grow or develop yourself. But sorry for interrupting you. I just want to highlight that part.
No, like definitely, and just like to speak on that, like sometimes you're comfortable. I have been in my old role for 3 years, just comfortable. So sometimes you need something to shake you up and like, all right, let's get to what you're really good at. Let's challenge you. Let's do more. And I think that was really needed within that time frame. Oh, go ahead, Rayann.
Oh, sorry. So I know you talked a lot about like having a mentor in your life and how that's really important, and I totally agree with you. How do you think, like, with the topic of like networking, right? Like I hear a lot that networking is so valuable and it's such an important tool. So how would you say like networking's helped you in finding kind of your job?
So it's so crazy because my background is retail. So like when I was 19, my first job was like slinging shoes at 9 West. Then I went to Victoria's Secret. So I always worked in retail. And I always had a passion for retail. And this is us going back to like, oh, what's a job? Like, I don't like that particular, like, people saying that because it's something you're passionate about and something you like. So within like my field of retail, honestly, it's just being open. It's just talking to people, seeing what's out there, and specifically into getting where I was with working in the store and like working in a big city like Chicago. There was always corporate people coming to my store. So I'm always like, yo, my name's Jasmine. They might forget in 5 minutes. I don't care. Like, you know what I did after that? I got their name and I followed up on LinkedIn. Like, I swear to people, use LinkedIn. Like, LinkedIn will save you. Like, I used to add these people, message them, thanks for meeting you. Next time they came, they remembered who I am. And it's like, be persistent, be talkative. And one thing, I don't know about you, Mo, but at DePaul, they had plenty of networking events. So once you go to school, like, take full advantage of that. That's something I didn't get to do in college, but I always look back like, man, there was all these opportunities to meet people in my field and create that mentorship. And like, your school is going to have a ton of resources. They're going to have a ton of mentorship programs. And I feel like you should take full advantage of those and like look into those for networking as well. And honestly, we live in a world where social media is taking over, especially during COVID. So use that. Like, I always tell people the worst people can tell you is no. So just be persistent, constantly tell them what you're interested in. And people love to like hear that passion and things, and more than willing, they'll at least touch base and talk to you at the least.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think like the one thing that I've really that's really been emphasized throughout this internship and through like panels and just learning from people is that reaching out to people is super important. So thank you for the advice.
Yeah, like the worst I can say is just leave me alone.
And they rarely say that. Maybe one will be like, I'm just too busy, but they'll get back to you later. Like, it just takes time.
Yeah, you got to bring the fire.
That's true. All right, so we'll let you get back to it. What is your day-to-day? Let's talk pre-COVID and then post-COVID.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot. What do I do for a living? So I don't have a day-to-day because I'm all over the place, which is great because I love it. But some of my key roles, to keep it simple in a sense, pre-COVID, we're going into Kohl's, Dick's Sporting Goods, we're going into Macy's, we're training associates on our products. Because if you guys aren't familiar with Under Armour, we're a very tech-savvy company. So there's all types of technology within our products. So teaching these associates about our products, creating contests, making them like brand fans. So when we're not in stores, they're able to speak about our product seamlessly, like no problem. Another one of my jobs is doing consumer insights. So going into malls, going to the stores, getting consumer feedback on our products. Another one of my jobs is also community outreach. So partnering with gyms, partnering with teams, letting them know, hey, we're here, giving out coupons, doing a lot of activations and events. So that's a lot of things we were doing pre-COVID. Now, just like many companies, post-COVID, how can you be an influence when you can't be out? And what do we use? Social media. So a lot of things we were doing during COVID is we have an influencer program. So finding influencers, seeing them clothes, asking them to give us like their genuine responses on our products, doing contests online, doing live workouts online. So a lot of things have been using social media, which is so crazy that social media is so huge nowadays. This was like my first week getting back out there slowly but surely, but that's what we were doing during COVID.
Wow. And I feel like that's a lot to do, right? Like on a day-to-day when pre-COVID and post-COVID, right? It can get exhausting and social media can be a little draining sometimes. So what do you do when you're looking to like relax, right? I think self-care is such a thing that we talk about now, but it wasn't talked about prior, right? Like I can really think about like us freshman year running around from thing to thing and always going to stuff, but nobody ever was like, you got to take care of yourself. It was just like, go out and do everything. So what has been the progression in your self-care before we even get to like what your self-care journey is now?
So it's so crazy because like first you realize you're getting older, but you don't realize you're getting older, and then it slaps you like, yo, you gotta take care of your body. So it goes back into that whole comfort level, right? It's like, oh, I'm young. I don't need to work out. I don't need to just de-stress. I'm good. I got everything. And it's so crazy with work. I start getting super tight shoulders. My neck's hurting. I'm gaining weight because I'm not going out and working out. Or like, I'm just really like snappy because I'm stressed out. And it's like, that was literally like, and honestly, COVID kind of woke me up a little bit too because I was so focused on work. But that was something that really was like, okay, girl, you're not 19 no more. Like you gotta take care of your body in the long run. And honestly, with unfortunately seeing all the deaths in COVID and like everything going on, I mean, you gotta take care of your body and what you put in your body to really help you fight off these type of viruses. So that's something that kind of has motivated me to be more of a healthier person as well.
That's real. So what does like your self-care routine consist of now?
Well, so we got a little workout group going. So me and my friends, we were working out every day, biking now, which is so weird because I would never bike. And I was like, I don't know if you guys have seen on social media, it's all these bike groups now. And I was like, well, I'm not good enough to bike with the bike group, but I want to bike on my own. And it's like getting more interested in walks and hiking and like a picnic. Like it's so crazy how this has all helped me like be more outdoorsy. Cause before I'm like, oh, let's go to a bar. Like, let's do that. Like, no, like let's enjoy some outdoors. Being able to work outdoors, being able to just not worry and stress about anything. And definitely like, I always like cooking. I low-key have a cooking page, still under construction. But I love cooking and like cooking healthier foods. Like that's something that has really been a part of my self-care. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show Insecure, but Molly and Issa have a self-care Sunday. Shout out to my best friend, Ashley. We try our hardest to have self-care Sundays and just have a good time with each other and just binge on food and TV.
For sure. So Jasmine, what are you doing right now in terms of like a current project that you're working on?
So right now, we're getting right back out in the field. So it's like my first week, but a personal project that I've been working on, and I know everyone has seen what has been going on against police brutality and everything going on.
Cutting out.
Oh, snaps. Do you guys hear me now?
You can edit this part. Oh, you're cutting out.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-mm. Yep.
Good?
Say something? Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Sorry guys. So, partnering with my high school, and we're actually going to work on someone who's created a page that's kind of shown some of the things that have been happening within my high school with racism and things like that. I'll keep them anonymous. But partnering with them, and we're going to work on doing a panel section, a panelist group for them, for students to have a safe space and kind of talk about what's been going on. So it's a project that I literally just started. That's something that I'm trying to incorporate with work, and also just trying to get out there, partner with some gyms, and make some big things happen pretty soon. So those are some small little projects I've been working on so far.
Sounds great.
That's super important, especially like there's so much going on that's been eye-opening with like Black Lives Matter and just racism and all these killings. And I feel like that is something where we need to step up as individuals, but then also brands need to be accountable for that as well. This is a question you can answer it or you don't have to, but do you feel like your brand has been comforting or accepting or helping in a space during this time with everything that's happening with Black Lives Matter?
They have. So we have some internal things that we've been doing, some workshops, some panel groups. So they're doing a pretty good job to like inform people that might not have known has been going on, and actually am like educating myself on more things that I didn't even know about. So they've been doing pretty good. I'll say it like that.
No, that's right. That's good. Cause like, even like to your point of informing yourself, like that's how I feel, right? Like we know, like, especially as Black people, we know that these are the issues, but we don't like, I don't know any strategy to combat it, right? Like, I just know like the biggest thing is like, oh, people need to know about this, or like they need to just be aware, right? But what happens after that awareness? How do we work towards it? So I think this has been really good to focus in on strategy, but really see like, what can we do to execute? Because you've seen all these brands posting like, oh yeah, rest in peace to George Floyd or Black Lives Matter or Breonna Taylor, but then it's over.
But what
right?
action are we taking?
Exactly. And that's the disappointing part, because like now, okay, it's clear, right? And they can wipe the sweat off their heads, and they haven't implemented any plans. They haven't placed Black people in positions of power for leadership. And that is something that I think is huge. I do have one more question for you though.
Yeah, you're fine.
Let's talk about awareness, right? How big was awareness in you jumping through career paths, right? Because we had another podcast episode, and one of the people, Evelyn, who's a former intern of ours, talked about how she didn't see people like her or people who acted like her in the positions that she was trying to get to. So that made her switch career fields. Did you deal with anything like that?
That's a really good question. You know what? When I first started working at the store, when it comes to seeing like managers or DMs or regionals, no, I didn't see anyone like me. And I saw one person like me who I consistently kept in contact with. And as like I got moved up and up, I'm still a minority, being a Black woman. So that's very true. I did not see people like me or who acted like me. And in full transparency, through my career journey, I struggled with people thinking I'm too sassy, or you have an attitude, or what's going on. And I just, like, for a long time struggled with that, because I'm like, this is who I am. Like, I don't know why people are saying this about me. And it's like kind of going back to like just having like that mentorship and like having someone that you can talk to and vent to, because unfortunately, as people of color, and Rayann as a woman of color, there are going to be certain things that people are going to say about you. But like literally this past year and a half, I really did some soul searching, and I feel like people take action how they want to, but what was best for me, I did go to therapy. I was able to talk to someone, really like, vent about my problems, because I realized I was internalizing them. And I realized, you know what? Like, I love what I do, but like, this is who I am. So throughout my career journey, like this past year and a half, I've literally like, this is who I am. Like, you can like it or you don't like it, but yeah, there was not a lot of, I didn't see anyone like me throughout my journey, throughout my past. And like the crazy thing is, when you do see someone like you, like, cause we're based in Baltimore, if you guys don't know, and when we go to headquarters and like I see somebody and we're like, I see you, like Brittany, I was like, I see you. And it's like, now we've developed this relationship and we're here to help each other out.
Yeah. No, and that's so beautiful. Like, I remember when you and Brittany is a friend of mine that I met in Chicago, and then she moved to Baltimore to work at Under Armour. But like, when you two connected, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, even Jasmine came, and I think she was speaking at like McDonald's, and like Jasmine pulled up and like supported, and y'all just kept connecting. So I love to see that, and that's so important in the workforce, right? You need those people who can be your eyes and ears, and also be there for when you need support or you have questions as well, because that's another way to like climb up the ladder in a corporate company.
And Jasmine,
for sure
agree with you. I think that's such an important message. Like, growing up, my mom has always been like, there's always going to be people out there that aren't accepting of who you are, like what you look like, as like a female person of color. Like, there's going to be people out there who just don't like embrace who you are. So I think it's so important to just keep in mind that like you're proud of who you are and you're self-confident. But kind of moving forward, what would you say, like, what advice would you have for your younger self or for people who are also trying to get into the similar industry?
I would definitely say, I'm going to go like back, like pre-college Jasmine. Me personally, if you want to save money and not be in debt, go to community college, get your gen eds out the way, find yourself, because within my own personal journey, I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I went in a field that I'm not even related to at all at this point, and I'm in a lot of debt. So that's my first one. Two, definitely, I would just say network. Like, that's just, I mean, Mo can say it himself. Like, it's so crazy. Like, a few years ago, we were at church, and he's just like, I'm starting my own business. And I was like, what? And, like, look at how it's growing now. And we've constantly kept in contact, and now we're doing work together. So I would always say just keep networking, meet people, pester people. It doesn't matter. I think everyone's at a point in their life where they want to help people. How can we help each other? Because we want to see each other succeed. And about also to my younger self and to younger people out there, just be yourself. Like, you don't have to change yourself for anyone. If they like your craft, if they love who you are and what you do, a company will accept you. Like, look at me. I'm over here with blonde hair, piercing, and if I didn't have this sweatshirt on, Mo knows I have tattoos, and that's just who I am, and that's who I am, and I still do a great job. Doesn't matter.
That is perfect advice. Well, the way we end our calls is at our internship, we always give each other a round of applause, a virtual round of applause. So let's give Jasmine a virtual round of applause. Also give co-hosts a round of applause. Rayann, great job. And we want to thank you so much, Jasmine, for being on, I think this is episode 5 of Have a Map. And we got some great directions from Jasmine, and my famous soundbite, skirt, skirt. We're driving, we're moving on, and we're gonna keep finding some more people with some directions. So thank you so much, Jasmine, for taking the time out your day to do this.
Thanks, Jasmine.
No problem. Thanks, guys, for having me. And Rayann, good luck to school. You're going to have a blast and enjoy it before you get old like us.
That's facts. Enjoy it, because college was great times, great times.